Hey guys, welcome to Muskie Road Rules Podcast, episode number 237. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling your friends. And you know what? We love having everybody listen every week. This podcast tonight is brought to you by Red October Baits. Guys, not only do they make some of the best and most versatile lures in the business, the tubes, by the way, both in the 7.5, 10-inch, and the big 12-inch models, they also are really, really good fishermen. You know, Mark Arena and Hans Mann, I'm telling you what, do a great job out there both making baits and on the water, and I think it's pretty freaking awesome, the stuff that they're making right now. Making it 3 different styles, either a deep jigging rig, a mid-depth rig, which I personally like, and a shallow casting rig. Guys, check them out at Red October Baits on Facebook. Just do a little search there. I know Mark puts up a ton of colors. And, why don't you find some of those I think you're going to like. On the podcast tonight, we've got Christina Truppi from up in Wisconsin. Christina, where are you from up there?
I live about 20 minutes north of Minocqua.
20 minutes north of Minocqua. Did the snow finally leave?
It did. I actually spent most of March and April down south so that I didn't have to deal with it, but I think it's gone.
Nice. Well, that's a good thing. That's one reason why I don't think it. Several reasons that I don't want to live way up north all year. I like it in the summer.
It's worth it for the summer and the fall up there.
Oh yeah, it's really, really cool. And also we got on the line Austin Wigerman there in Northern Illinois. Austin, how are you doing?
I couldn't be much better, honestly. Yeah, we definitely didn't have the winter that they did up there, and certainly haven't seen winter in a while. Today was the first cool day, a low 60-degree day in a while. It's been freaking warm down here, so bite's been good, and couldn't be happier.
Yeah, it was cool here too. We had big storms yesterday, or not giant storms by any means, but had some thunderstorms move through. It only got up in Kentucky into the 70s. Which, we had been hitting the 80s pretty consistently. And so our water temps now are in the low 70s, upper 60s. Still not real hot. Water's getting really, really super clear, and the fishing has been so-so. We've been getting fish a bunch of different ways. It seems like the vertical jigging bite, the Bondi bait bite, has been really, really good. Christina, I know you've been fishing a lot, especially in the southern part of the state. Can you give us an idea of how it's been going and, what you've been doing?
Yeah, sure. So my first day fishing Wisconsin opener was last Tuesday. Water temps were around 49, and I'm out right now and they're 59. So we've been fishing, like I said, a river system in southern Wisconsin, and we've just been targeting shallow flats, current seams, and we've been finding a lot of big fish doing that.
Well, so now you're fishing a river system. So now is that dark water? Because I know in Wisconsin and in Minnesota and a lot of the northern lakes or the northern systems, the rivers show up a lot darker. Because in the south right now they're getting really, really clear.
So this river system's always pretty stained, especially in the spring when you have all that water running through.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any high water, or is it seem to be pretty normal? Or I mean, because I'm assuming you guys are getting the warmer weather too, so you're going to have snow melt and all that, and I would assume that causes the levels and stuff to go up.
Yeah, so I heard about a month ago there was some flooding. All the dams were open, but now it seems like the water level's pretty much back to what I'm used to it being at. Sure.
Well, that's a good deal. So how has fishing been? I mean, I've seen some pictures that you've posted and stuff, and they look like you've been, to put it bluntly, kicking ass. So what?
This has been an insane year so far. The windows have been super tight, so we've either been finding fish, I would say, like, within an hour of peak, and if there's not a window then, we've been hitting sunset, and there's typically a window there, too. But fish have just been swallowing swimming dogs, and we've been throwing little crankbaits, and The windows are tight, but when they're on, they're on.
What kind of little crankbaits are you throwing up there now? Because in the South, we throw a ton of crankbaits, and
Sure.
I think it's always something that is pretty. You don't hear of a ton of crankbait stuff being thrown up north. It's traditional bucktail topwater jerkbait. What kind of little cranks are you throwing?
So Slammer, I think last year it was their prototype, but this year it's officially out. They have their 6-inch fatty minnow.
Okay.
And I've caught a ton of fish on that this year so far.
All right.
It runs perfectly.
Sure. Are you doing a straight retrieve, or you like stop and go, or what are you doing?
Mostly like a rip and a pause.
Okay. Now, how deep down do those baits get? Are we talking? I mean, because river system now, are we talking deep or shallow? Have the fish kind of been relating to like the eddies and stuff like that? I mean, are you fishing really high, or are you having to get baits near the bottom?
So I've been fishing, I would say, in the like upper 2 feet of the water column. Obviously, the faster you rip it, the deeper it's going to run.
Sure.
But earlier this year, we were fishing super shallow and trying to find weeds and just kind of rip it really softly across the top of those weeds.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good deal. Austin, how's it been for you? Last time I seen you, was it at the sushi bar where I took my shirt off?
Yeah, it absolutely was, and that was one of those nights that I will absolutely never forget.
You know what? The sad thing is, it's not the first time I've taken my shirt off at a sushi bar. I wish I could say. I wish I could say it was the only one.
Little influence on it, just because I was advocating for you to buy one of the sushi shirts, more sake, more happy.
Yes, and I still got it somewhere.
Yeah, when it came, you decided you wanted to put it on right that second.
Well, I didn't want to embarrass. I didn't want to insult the people from our other nation there, and I thought it would be a great gesture of me wearing their native clothing, and I think it went well. But
I don't disagree at all.
Exactly. The only thing that I do remember is at the end of the night, I the next morning I look at my credit card statement and I go, oh boy, last night got a little expensive.
Yeah, more sake, more expensive.
Oh, it was, oh my God. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. It was, there was a group of, I don't know, there was a lot of people there, and I think I made friends with a lot of people. Or
everyone
I made an impression, at least, I think. Anytime people see my nipples, they get impressed. So I do enjoy that. So, Austin, enough talk about my nipples. What is going on in northern Illinois? Are you catching any fish, and how's it going?
It is. It's going tremendous, I will say. Again, it was one of those early seasons where in previous years, like 3 years ago and beyond, it was an incredible April bite, and I was looking forward to nothing more than guiding the pre-spawn bite. And again, this year it was almost non-existent, where you basically didn't see any fish with your own eyes. Water was super dirty, and they graph fouled all day, and that was basically the most excitement you had. But now that they are basically 100% through spawn, things have been quite well. We got water temps anywhere from low 60s to upper 60s. Seen 70 once already, and it's kind of the only weird thing that I have noticed, which I've talked to a few other people that have somewhat disagreed with me, but it seems like when the start of the moon phase happens, all of the fish that I've been fishing around just go sit on the bottom for the whole moon phase, and the second that it ends, we start catching and seeing again. So I don't know what's going on with that. It's been one of the opposites kind of year. You're just like not looking forward to moon phases to help you whatsoever, and kind of wasting your time, it feels like. But other than that, it's been great. Basically every bait's been working. Blades are starting to really turn on. We had a pretty wild top water window last night. Yeah, it's been good, but fish are through spawn, and fishing certainly picking up.
How did you get anything really big this spring in northern Illinois?
Yeah, we got a 47.5. We got a couple of mid 40s, and they were actually, I guess, technically pre-spawn. They still had a few eggs, but water temps were already in the low 60s.
Sure.
Which we had some crazy water water temp rise it falls already this year. I want to say already over a month ago we saw upper 60s for a while, and then they went back into the upper 40s with that first giant warm front that came through. But water clarity's cleared up, which I know I enjoy. We got a crazy green bloom going on, but yeah, we certainly lost a few really big fish. The last full moon was pretty insane. Good buddy Sam Stone came down from Wisconsin. We were on some really large fish that basically didn't make me want to leave Illinois for the Wisconsin opener. So we got a couple small ones, lost a couple of basically right at the 50-inch mark for the old Illinois fish, which is quite impressive. And it was a little bit of a depressing weekend, but now things are they're just a lot more consistent. The windows are way longer. Like I said, the moons haven't been quite as influential so far for me, but fishing throughout the whole day has been lots of action, and big fish are certainly chasing baits.
So you're saying the moons haven't been beneficial for you. But you're saying the fish have either they shut down, for what you're doing, or is nobody? Have you not heard anything really happening around the moon?
I've talked to a few guys on the water just passing by that they had some action during moons and so on and so forth. But literally, I have had one follow in the last 2 weeks during a moon phase on the Fox Chain.
Well, that's always fun.
It is. So actually, I just know when to take lunch now, and it's been one of the weirder things, I will say. But the windows for me have been right away at sunrise. Last night, sunset was pretty wild, and yesterday's weather that came through went from basically really calm winds and sunny to a giant switch out of the northeast to like 25-mile-an-hour winds, and it was just the fish were just going nuts for the whole rest of the night.
Wow!
But we've got a few bites after dark. We've been fishing into the dark already, which has been great. Always love that around down here with the pressured waters, and it's full swing finally. It was a long April, but I couldn't be happier. Like I said, they're doing everything on every bait, so it's a good time.
Nice. So, Christina, did you guys get a big weather change here?
Well, today it's colder than it has been for the past couple weeks. We're still getting down into like the 40s at night, but overall it's been like 60s, 70s. It's been pretty nice in southern Wisconsin.
Nice. Well, that's always good. Well, let me ask you this. I'm going to ask this question to both you guys. What would be, of the spring so far, what you fished, what's been your 3 top lures? Christina, you start.
I would go with Mag Swimming Dog, the 6-inch Fatty Minnow by Slammer, and I would probably just go with the regular Swimming Dog for my number 3. I'm obsessed with Swimming Dogs. I've caught so many fish on Swimming Dogs. They're like the best baits on the planet.
Well, then that's good, because you know what? Muskie Innovations is a sponsor of ours. Brad Rue, the man can't grow a head of hair, but he can definitely make a muskie lure. So, guys, check him out at muskieinnovations.com. You've heard it from Christina. The Swimming Dogs has probably been one of the best baits that they've turned out. Or most catching, for what I like about them is they're very easy to work. They're easy. You can give them to anybody. Throw it out, reel it in, and the fish just eat them, which is something that's really, really nice to have that can be worked in a ton of different situations, whether it be in shallow weeds or deep off of break. So, guys, check them out, muskieinnovations.com, and they make all kinds of baits. Now, Austin, what would be yours?
I always do love that you put us on the spot with the specific baits, because I can tell you tomorrow on the Fox Chain there will be multiple boats throwing these baits, so I thank you for that.
No problem.
Shallow Mag Dog has been quite ridiculous, honestly. I haven't, for whatever reason, I've been on the Deuce train for years. This year, pulled out a Shallow Mag Dog. I don't even know what color it is. It's like I think it's an eel pout. I think it's one of my very few Shallow Mag Dogs that I own, honestly. And it's been pounding fish. That Classic Hellhound has gotten it done almost every day during that pretty sharp spawning phase. For whatever reason, I've put phantoms to the side slightly, and that a little bit of a deeper body profile seems like it absolutely hammers on the shad-based fishery for here for the Fox chain. So Mag Dog, Shell Mag Dog, Hell Puppy, and what would be the third? I would probably say it's been kind of sporadic, but I would say in the last 5 days the Shallow Invader. So there's another Muskie Innovations plug there.
Oh my gosh!
That's been pounding for. No, actually, that brings up a good point. Do you guys, which I know for a fact you do, but down in Cave Run, do you guys have you seen anything with pre-spawn versus post-spawn fish with the Shallow Invader? Like one or the other liking it more or less? Because I cannot get a fish to eat it during pre-spawn on the Fox chain, but the second they're done spawning, it is like every year it is a staple.
I've caught them on both. It was always a good bait in the early spring for me when I was casting. Now I do a lot of short line trolling early. But when we do cast, it is a bait that I reach for. But I will say, you saying that in the river, below the dam and the actual river, the Shallow Invader is one of my go-to. I just have somebody throwing it at all times, and I really, really like it. Another thing that we throw down here is the Deep Invaders, which I don't think he makes anymore. Normally they're the dusty bait that's like hanging in the corner of the tackle shop. It's kind of the land of misfit toys. You'll find a Deep Invader, an old high fin, and something else that someone's uncle made out of skunk. And that is what and the Deep Invader. Have any of you two ever used the Deep Invaders?
I haven't.
Yep.
You have? Okay. Well, I tell you, the Deep Invader, I got a 50-inch fish last year on a Deep Invader, and I mean, down here we've just caught a lot of fish on those baits over the years, and they've been really, really good. But the one thing is, with the Shallow Invader, we were talking with Cody Daniels from down in Tennessee a few weeks ago about putting an extra split ring on the back hook to make those hooks go back further, and pinning it into the tail, and that's something that I've done and I find to work really well. Christina, do you have any? Do you throw Shallow Invaders? Is that something that you like, or have you not really got into those?
I do a little bit, but it's not something that I reach for very often. I do like the action of the bait, though. It's not one of my go-tos.
Sure. Austin, on yours, are you putting that hook back? And if so, what's your technique for that?
I'm just using that stealth hook extension.
Sure.
Or just making my own. Because that's like the only downfall of the bait is straight out of the package. If you're ripping that thing at all, those get caught all the damn time. But other than that, I'm just using that hook extension. I was actually somewhat thinking of trying a few with like the extra split ring and seeing how long it took for them to get caught up, because that hook extension's great. Never seems to have any issues.
No, I think it's a big thing by getting that hook back there a little bit. Now, Christina, you are, is this the first year you're going to be guiding?
Officially, yes.
Yes. We won't talk about it when you are unofficially doing it.
No, I've been wanting to do this for a while, and now I finally have my life set up to where I can do it. I live in the right place, so I'm looking forward to it.
What's it like to have your life set up really good? Because I'm still, that is something I have strived. I have strived for that, and I literally am the most unorganized. I'm like Peter Pan. So where will you be doing this at?
Mostly up in Lake Violet and Oneida counties, close to home. But I might do some trips in central Wisconsin too.
Sure.
I don't know. It's tough to leave the Northwoods once that opens up.
It does. I agree. I mean, it's, the PMTT this year, we're not going to do up in Eagle River, and that was always a great trip for us. When I say us, I'm just people that don't live up there, because the beauty of it, you feel musky-ish. You know, you go in a bar and you see old musky stuff on the wall. You see some decrepit guy in the corner, and you find out he used to be a musky guide, and I think I'm looking in a mirror. You know, it's just one of those things that I just
in the future.
Yeah, I'm the future, exactly. Anytime I see a guy like stopped at the corner with like a sign, you know, looking for change, I'm like, well, there's my future. That's so I always give them water. You know, it is a great place to go. So, Christina, up there, what are some of the lakes that you're going to be fishing and targeting?
Well, I can't tell you that.
Oh my God! What?
Come on, Greg.
That seems unfair. I only have one lake that he asked about, and now you can't even give him one.
Well, yeah, and he asked you before we were actually on the podcast. So
That's true, but now everybody knows the 3 baits to throw on my one lake.
that is true. I fish
Way
a
to
lot
go,
of
Greg.
a lot of the lakes in St. Germain, Boulder Junction,
Sure.
Manitowish Waters, Presque Isle, even up into the UP a little bit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you're covering a lot of lakes. So, like, how many lakes do you think you cover in a given season?
Oh God, I don't know, maybe 30, maybe more.
Jesus. See, I would have the good thing is I'm medicated now, so my nerves would let me do that. If I had that many choices, I think I would go absolutely insane.
Yeah, it is insane. I have a list going in my notes in my phone of lakes to fish this year, and I think it's up to like 42 or 43.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm not sure if I'll fit them all in, but it's just cool to have so many options.
Sure. Well, I mean, that's like, I grew up in the South. I grew up fishing here on Cave Run, and our closest other musky lake would be 2 hours away.
Right.
There's only 3 in the state, and then we've got rivers, 17 rivers in the state, so I get to fish them a little bit. But most of these are like John boat rivers, like,
Right.
just find a place where you can throw a boat in and hop in. Is kind of how that works. And then in Minnesota, where I am in the fall, I got about 4 lakes. 3 I probably fish consistently. And even on those, I'm like, oh, where should I go today? Where should I go today?
Right.
And a lot of it's based on wind and how much gas I have. There's the big decisions. And then, but fishing Lake of the Woods this summer, which I'm super excited about doing out of the Northwest Angle. That's like fishing a bunch of lakes because of so many options to go.
Right.
Up there. But what are your summer? How is it looking right now? I mean, are you booking some trips, and how's that looking for you?
So I think I posted about my guide business like maybe 3 weeks ago, and I already have over a dozen trips booked. So I'm a nurse and I do travel nursing. So the contract that I'm in right now is in Wausau, and that'll be done at the end of July, and then I'm just going to guide and fish for about 4 months and then pick up another contract in December. So I'm hoping to book like maybe 2 trips a week and then just have my me fishing time on my off days.
Oh my God, that sounds wonderful. I don't get any me time.
I'm very excited.
I need me time. I don't get me time.
It's important.
I know. I
Me
look.
time for you, Greg.
What?
It's always me time for you.
I don't know. I look in a mirror and I try to do the affirmations, and it's just horrible. Now the dogs are biting each other's face. Oh my God, I have no me time. What? So what are you up there this summer, Christina? How long have you been fishing up in the North Woods?
My whole life. I think my dad put a rod in my hands when I was in diapers.
Good
They have
guy.
My parents have a cabin in St. Germain.
Mm-hmm.
So I would spend a bunch of my summers going up there and fishing with my dad.
Well, that's great. What is like in the summertime? What is, because we all have I think we all kind of have our favorite way to fish, a way we like to fish. What's one technique or something, or one way to fish that you really, really look forward to every year?
I think blades over deep weeds in the summertime is huge in the Northwoods.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really like how my dad fishes mostly, so that's how I grew up fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that's probably my favorite.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I'll ask you the same question I asked Austin. This spring I've seen some pictures. Looks like you've been getting some nice fish. What are some of the bigger ones you've gotten this spring so far?
So down south we got a bunch of mid-40s, and then since Southern opener in Wisconsin, I have 244s, 347s, a 51.5. Finally got a 50 plus in my boat last week. It was insane.
All right, tell us about that. Everybody's got a story about the first 50-incher in their boat. I mean, mine was actually that I caught. It was on a figure 8. I'm closing my eyes right now. It was on a Grim Reaper spinnerbait on Cave Run. It was misty. It was quite a lovely setting, and got on a figure 8 right at the boat, and it was 51.5 as well. So
nice.
How did your the first 50-incher in your boat go?
So I didn't catch it, actually. Nick, Mr. Muskie Frenzy, caught it.
Bastard.
I got to net it, though, which was really cool. I know. But I can't even be mad. My boat saw a 50-plus incher in the first week of opener. But
Nice.
he caught it on a swimming dog, the orange belly perch. And it hit, like, way out on the cast, too. And right away, he's like, this is a giant. And, like, both of us saw the head come up out of the water, and we were just like, no fucking way. Like, we were both shaking.
Nice.
It
Well,
was
I tell
very
you
cool.
what, I mean, and you're fishing true Wisconsin waters, and a 50-inch fish is the benchmark for everybody. And that's pretty awesome that you were able to get one this early in the season.
Yeah.
Were the
for
fish
sure.
pretty?
Not a bad start.
No, were the fish pretty beat up? I mean, are you seeing fish that are just pretty cut up?
So it was obvious that some were post spawn, but like last week, one of our 42s dropped eggs all over my boat.
Mm-hmm.
So I think now a lot are post spawn, but last week we were definitely seeing a mix of both, clean fish and beat up fish.
Okay. Well, we're in Kentucky. We're seeing a little bit of everything too. It depends on where you're at. On the lake, some fish are still spitting eggs, and some fish are pretty beat up. Austin, what? Now you said you've been fishing. You fished Lake Geneva a couple times.
Yeah, I've been out there twice. But actually, I want to throw in there for the first time ever, I got to see with my own eyes two actively spawning on the Fox Chain the other day, which was the last time I had not seen. Sorry, one just surfaced right next to the boat, and I'm pointing it out. All right, where the hell was I? Oh, I'd never seen that before. Like actually, two just paired up together, spawning. But it was probably only 4 or 5 days ago, and the one was really big. And the guy's like, "Hey, there's two in front of us," and I was like, "Cast." And he's like, "No, they're on top of each other." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, well then leave them alone." But yeah, on Geneva, I would say we probably have another 2 full weeks to get through that. Wind's been fairly consistent, and on when I was out there, I want to say 3-4 days ago, the one side of the lake was 48-degree temps, and the other was 63. So
that's consistent.
We got yeah, we're super consistent. But that lake is just so damn deep, and there's just so much basin to it that it's going to take a little while. But I would say the few fish that we caught were just small juveniles, no marks at all. But I would assume that they probably did not even either start or are going to spawn whatsoever. But yeah, there's already been a handful of big fish caught that I know of. So I'm looking forward to getting out there. But I'm gonna ride this Fox Chain for probably another week or two, in and out, because it's really going.
What was that?
My dog.
I was gonna say which dog was that one?
There's a little dog running around on shore, and he doesn't do so well with things like that.
My dogs, they do not like. they think they're gonna. My dogs scare the hell out because English bulldogs. The big one scares the hell out of people because they think, oh, he's gonna eat him. Literally, all he wants to do is be friends with. I don't care if it's a dog, a squirrel, a porcupine. It don't matter. He wants to be friends with it. And So it's the same thing, except he'd just be growling and trying to get it, and it's just because he wants to be friends with it. But he's super inappropriate because all he wants to do is sniff their butt. That's his go-to move, is sniff the butt. And most of the dogs really aren't. They're not too receptive on that. So, but now, oh God, now they're barking. Austin. All right. So Austin, what is your plans right now? What is going to happen to you?
I'll be around here. I'll be mostly on Geneva, starting here soon, like I mentioned, all the way through June. Then come July, I'll go out where you're kind of spending the fall. So we'll probably trade off spots there about the end of September. But yeah, Detroit Lakes area, a little bit south Miltona, I'll be for the vast majority of summer, all June or July, August, and then half of September. And then I'll be doing some trips on Leech as well. And then back on Geneva for the rest of fall, since last fall was extremely fun, and I am going to get away from the boating traffic and probably 85-degree temps that come around this area.
Exactly. The dogs are fighting. The little one just sat on the big one's head. Well, that didn't work out well. Christina, are you going to be fishing anywhere else this year? Are you going to try to go to Canada or anything, or?
So I'm starting my 4 months off with 2 weeks in Canada.
Oh, well, that's horrible.
What's that?
I said, oh, well, that's horrible.
Yeah, I've actually never been up there before, so I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm hoping to get over to Minnesota maybe once or twice this fall. But aside from that, just northern Wisconsin and the UP.
Where are you going to in Canada?
Lake of the Woods.
Oh, nice. All right.
Yeah.
So I might see you out there. If you see a guy with a blue boat with binoculars, I'm just trying to get spots from you. So don't pay no mind. The best fish finder in the world, binoculars. Pay no mind to that guy. But all right, though, that'll be fun. You'll have a good time there. Are you going to go like what time of year?
The first 2 weeks of August.
Oh, okay, yeah. Bucktail, topwater. There'll be a lot of different ways you can catch them, and it'll be really, really good. But all right. So this is a question I've been asking everybody. I got 2 questions actually. What got you into muskie fishing, Christina?
Well, my dad he still is a huge muskie fisherman, and then like my grandpa was too, so I think it's just in my blood.
Cool. Sorry, I'm drinking a margarita because I'm a man.
That sounds good.
I've had one too many of them. Austin, what got you into muskie fishing? Oh my God, you dogs!
Gosh, that seems like a long story, but I think it was kind of just the inevitable ending of the fish species progression of catching bass and bluegills when I was young, and kind of catching enough 5-pounders at the local golf course ponds to go around, and then pike and muskies were kind of the end. And once I caught my first one, it was game over. Didn't want to catch anything else, and that was about it.
Nice. And another question here, and I try to ask people: do you listen to music in the boat, Christina?
Yes.
Okay. Top 3 or 4 muskie fishing songs.
I don't know. I just shuffle my iTunes.
All right. So on your iTunes, like, what are or do artist? It could be artist.
I like 90s country.
Oh my God, that is great. Garth Brooks. Back when the men had mullets. That is exactly. I've always said country. That. I like Blake Shelton. I like Blake Shelton with a mullet. Old Red. That was a great song. Blake Shelton now, horrible person.
Not so much.
Toby Keith, good with a mullet. Billy Ray Cyrus, much needed mullet. Actually, I watched a movie the other day, and I recommend everybody listen to this podcast watch this movie because it is one of the worst movies I've ever watched, but I love it. It's called Bait Shop, and it had Billy Ray Cyrus, and it's about a bass fishing tournament.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
You've seen it, and Billy Ray Cyrus wears a sequence. What do you call that? A jumper? I don't know what you would call that. It like pajamas, and
I wouldn't know.
And Bill Engvall is in it, which I hate. I think Bill Engvall is one of the worst comedians in the world. But that movie, Bait Shop, it's on Hulu, Amazon, one of those. But watch it. Watch it with your family. Sit around the fire. It is absolutely horrid, but awesome. I don't know why we're talking about that. But, Christina, 3 artists that you like to listen to in the boat. And if one is Aaron Tippin, I will hug you.
I do like Aaron Tippin, but I like Alan Jackson.
Oh,
I like Garth Brooks.
Yes.
I like old Tim McGraw.
Old Tim,
I like Jimmy Kershaw.
Yeah,
Joe
Indian
Diffie,
Outlaw.
stuff like that.
Yes, I do not like Tim McGraw, like, later on. And
No, he's so different now.
it's horrible. What was the song? Something taking him fishing. It was about the boy and the girl.
Daddy.
Huh?
Johnny Sadie.
That one.
Yep.
That was good. And I'm assuming you probably like Kenny Chesney before, not Beach Kenny.
I was never a huge Kenny fan, but some of his stuff is okay. Some of his older stuff is okay.
Yes, like Keg in the Closet and Boys of Fall. Those are great songs.
Those are fire.
Yes, exactly. All right, Austin, what would be you? So give me like your, what are you listening to? Are you listening to like gangster rap? Lizzo? I could see Lizzo coming from your boat.
You think I listen to Lizzo? You think that's my thing?
Oh, I do sometimes. Lake of the Woods last year, we did a whole Lizzo day, and it was awesome.
I'll be honest, I really don't follow like that many people all that closely. I just like good songs that I like, I would say the only artist that I could really give would probably be Mike. Mike Period. He used to be formerly Mike Stud. That's a whole nother story in itself. He's like,
Who?
He's like it's his name on like Spotify or Apple Music is just Mike with a period after. It used to be Mike Stud. He was like a Duke baseball player, rapped on the side, had to have like a name that the baseball coaches didn't know because
this guy sounds horrible.
Reasons,
Christina, back me up.
No,
here.
he's got really good music.
I do not believe that.
I think you would be genuinely surprised.
Yeah, that I'm listening to it.
Yeah, I mean, he's like if he had as big of an ass as Lizzo, he would be just as famous.
Really?
Yeah, and actually, I don't even know if Lizzo has a big ass. I don't even know what she looks like, to be frank.
Lizzo, she is the poet laureate of our generation. All right, so who else? Give me 3.
I don't have 3. I mean, Morgan Wallen, I'll just like get on the bus with. Love that, but other than that, don't have a third artist.
My God, do you listen to music when you fish?
Yeah, the whole time, but I just like Christina, I just got a playlist with a shitload of songs from over the years and just shuffle.
I'm afraid to hit shuffle on my phone, especially when I'm fishing with clients, because
I usually ask them for like a Spotify channel, and then we shuffle that, and then they're responsible if something weird comes on.
Yeah, because my stuff is like, I listen to literally everything. And so I don't do that. I always do like, I got my standards. I got my Tyler Childers. We always get some Tyler Childers during the day. We always get a little Sturgill Simpson during the day. A new band that I really like. It's not a new band, but it's new to me. Suitcase Junket. Really, really good stuff.
What kind of music is that?
Suitcase Junket is it's kind of like rocky country, not like new country, but it's like old. Hold on one second. Would you two quit it? Okay, they don't listen to me. It's like gosh, I'm trying to kind of southern, not really southern rock. Just look up Suitcase Junket. I think you'd like it. Do you like Tyler Childers?
Yes.
Okay, so if you like Tyler, Suitcase Junket opens up for him a lot of times.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they open up. He opens up for him quite a bit, and it's a guy. He makes all his instruments out of trash. He mixes all his own instruments, and it's like these really weird guitar things, and but he's really, really good. So check out Suitcase Junket. I listen to a ton of different stuff. That's the main thing for me, and I'm always curious to hear what people listen to in the boat, because I like everything from rock to metal, to old school country. Like right now I'm looking at my phone. Here's like the my most recently added. I've got Aqualung, Jethro Tull, Sundown by Gordon Lightfoot. I've got Zach Bryan. A bunch of his stuff, Coulter Wall, Suitcase Junket, Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill, The Beatles Essential, Plastic Heart, Miley Cyrus, Noah Cyrus, which is her sister. She's actually pretty good. And Mermaid Avenue by Billy Braggs and Wilco. So, the next one is Slayer, Rain and Blood. So, yeah.
That's a variety.
Oh, I've got a ton, and it's all awesome. But, well, guys, I tell you what, I appreciate you coming on here. And, guys, before we get off, I need to tell you, we've got a new text line. So, guys, put this in your phone. Put this in your phone right here. I'm going to make sure I give everybody the right number. This is the Muskie, I was going to say Muskie Road Rules, but it's the Lunge and Lures text line. Lunge and Lures. Guys, check them out, lungeandlures.com. You're not going to find a bad bait that they make. All of the 22 series and their crankbaits, the big old 50 cals, and the Alley Cat series of lures. Guys, you're not going to find a bad bait. Plus the Nutbuster and DC series of bucktails. Check them out. But the new number, guys, is 502-977-4446. All right, so that's what you want to text me at. Text me at 502-977-4446. Guys, make sure you do that on the Lunge and Lures text line. Christina, anything you want to promote?
Just my guide service, I suppose.
All right, let's have it.
So people can either look me up at my website, which is ChristinaTrupi.com, or they can shoot me a message on social media.
And that is it under the same name?
Yeah, just my first and then my last name. I didn't do business pages for those.
Okay. All right. Austin, you got anything?
Same deal here. Website is Austin Wiggerman Guide Service, and you can call me or text me, 815-575-3468. Got a handful of June dates left on Geneva, and then certainly have openings in Minnesota for any western or north central Minnesota. So that is good for me.
Have you tried the urinal advertising that I've
No,
mentioned?
but I did hear that worked out really well for you.
It does really good. Anytime you have to go to anytime, you're on a trip up to Minnesota, about every 30, 40 miles, stop at the restroom, take a Sharpie, go in there, just do a little, you can do a little art too, but be classy. And yeah, that's a way that I think I've found has been very, very good. I've never understood how people bring a Sharpie to them to the bathroom. To me, that was I've never in my life thought, well, you know what? I need to go to the restroom. Where's my Sharpie? That's something that that has never crossed my mind. But hey, guys, I really appreciate you coming on here. Look forward to hearing from you throughout the season. Christina Truppi, Austin Wiggerman, I'm Greg Thomas, and this was Muskie Road Rules Podcast. Thanks, guys.
Thank you
for having me.
Bye.